Classic style can be achieved on a budget, but it is important to pay attention to detail because a few simple mistakes can completely ruin the look. A beautiful pair of tailored trousers are considered an essential part of a classic wardrobe, and if you shop around you can get a great pair for any kind of budget quite easily. But a mistake that lots of ladies make is getting the leg length right. Getting the leg length wrong on a tailored pair of trousers can ruin a classic look by disrupting the clean, polished lines that really define that style. If the trousers are too long and they bunch at the ankles, they can kind of look a little bit sloppy and scruffy. And who wants their trousers dragging and touching all those dirty floors? I mean, I know I don't. On the other hand though, if they're too short, they can cut off the silhouette quite awkwardly and look out of proportion. Now I know it can be very difficult trying to find the perfect pair of trousers specifically for your leg length, especially if you're petite or have extra long legs. But thankfully there are more and more stores that run different leg lengths now on trousers, places like Marks and Spencer's and Uniqlo. So that's a good start, but they're not always perfect. Some brands make trousers with adjustable hems, which is really helpful. So it gives you the option of either getting them tailored or trying to adjust them yourself. Properly tailored trousers should just gently graze the tops of your shoes or end just above the ankle for a sleek finish, and getting that right can really help with the look. A classic wardrobe wouldn't be complete without a tailored blazer, but just like a pair of trousers, the length of the blazer is really important. It's important because it really affects how everything else looks on you. If your blazer is too short, it can make your torso look small or out of proportion, and it can just look like something's just off. On the other hand, if it's too long, it might make you look shorter than you are and make you look like you're just drowning in fabric. A good rule of thumb is that your blazer should hit somewhere around the middle of your hand when your arms are relaxed at your sides. That length just tends to look balanced on most people, but you have to work with your body shape. So if you're on the shorter side, a slightly shorter blazer can help make your legs look longer, which is always a win. If you're taller, a blazer that's a touch longer can keep your outfit looking more proportional. And then of course the length of your blazer also has to work with the rise of your trousers so it flows really nicely and doesn't look mismatched. So oversized blazers have been trendy for quite a while now. I think it's going to be one of those styles that people look back and think, oh my god, what was I wearing? They're just completely shapeless, and to me they always just look like a little girl who's been let loose in her parents' closet. But a classic tailored blazer length will always look put together. Plus it's versatile. You can wear it to a meeting, a wedding, or even casually, and it'll just always feel appropriate. At the end of the day, getting the blazer length right is one of those little details that makes a big difference in how put together and classic you look. Today's video has very kindly been sponsored by FOREO Sweden, and I just wondered if you know about the brand or had heard about the brand, and in particular the UFO3, which is what I've been using. This is a deep hydrating skincare device, and I've been using this for a little while now. Sometimes when you start using new products, it can take a little while to start seeing results, but I noticed a difference in my skin quite quickly after using this. It was more hydrated and it felt and looked a little bit more plumper and not quite so tired looking. So how it works is you can get all these different types of sheet masks, and there's all sorts of ones, so you can choose one specifically for your skin goals. So today I'm going to use the Manuka Honey Mask. You just pop the mask over the UFO3 and then clip that over the top, and then using the universal button at the top you can choose the treatment that you want. There's 8 preset treatments, or you can choose a specialised treatment off the app. I quite like the red LED treatment. Now this one is a thermotherapy treatment, so this one feels quite warm. So that really helps the ingredients in the mask really absorb into the skin. You just gently massage the mask all over your face, just using small circular movements. It's got a T-sonic massage, so it gently massages the muscles and helps boost the circulation. It just takes 2 minutes, it's really quick. The other treatment I quite like is the cryotherapy, which is the blue LED. This one's in complete contrast to the red one because this one is cooling. So I quite like to use this one in the morning. It just helps with puffiness and it really wakes my face up. FOREO rarely goes on sale, but right now they are running their biggest sale of the year with up to 50% off some of their products. And I do have a code that you can use for an extra 10% off on top of those discounts. So right now is the best time to try if you're thinking of trying either the UFO 3 or any of the other products. So the code to use is GemmaBF10. That's on the screen right now, and I'll link that below in the description box as well for you. Classic style is as much about paying attention to detail as it is the actual pieces themselves, and that is a mistake that lots of people make, not paying attention to the really small little details that seem quite insignificant but can make a big difference. There's the obvious things like keeping your clothing wrinkle free and pressed, using lint rollers and checking for missing buttons. And then there's the other things like the tacking stitches at the back of coats and blazers, and sometimes on skirts too. It's that little cross that you see right at the bottom. It's actually quite surprising how many people don't realise that those need to be removed when you've bought something. They're only actually there to keep the garment in shape in the selling process. The same with some pockets. Quite often they're stitched down for the same reason. They can be untacked too. Then there's the other details like belt ties. Quite often a coat comes with a belt, and you may not want to necessarily wear it tied. So learning some really easy belt ties makes an outfit look far more polished. I do have an old video with some very simple belt ties on a trench coat, but they can be done with any coat with a belt. Usually included as part of a classic wardrobe, you'll find a dress, maybe a little black dress, and some kind of coat. But how these two are paired together is really important. This is probably my biggest pet hate. It's when a dress hangs below a coat. I have mentioned this many times to you before. I know for some people it doesn't bother them, but it really bothers me. You can see from this shot that the dress is a midi length, slightly on the longer side, and the dress hangs around about, 3 inches below the coat. It completely throws the proportions of the outfit off. But as soon as I raise the dress to above the hemline of the coat, it instantly looks better. If the skirt or the dress is just half an inch longer than the coat, then you can just about get away with it, but any more than that and it just looks unbalanced. This only really applies with a midi dress and a long coat because the distance between the two is so small. If you were to wear a shorter length coat, it wouldn't throw the proportions off so much. Putting together the right colour combinations can make or break any outfit, and it is the same if you do want to get that classic style look. Some colour combinations just work better in this style. There is of course the one I mentioned the most, navy white or cream worn with tan. Will this ever get tired? I don't think so. It's just one of those colour combinations that just work together. Then there's navy and burgundy, camel and red, black and white, sage green and white. There's lots. Just go back and look at the old films of the 1940s and 50s, if they were in colour, and you'll see all these wonderful outfits with quite simple colour pairings which have transcended time, and you'll find loads of inspiration for very classic colour combinations.